Me and Zoya just got back from breakfast. As we were leaving the building, we held the door open for two ladies who were entering the building, and they weren't talking. They weren't mid-conversation or anything. And then they looked at us the whole way in through the door as both of our hands are holding the door open for their convenience. And then we kind of like helped it. We mouthed thank you along, helped them along in doing what they were supposed to do next. And then they did say thank you, but they didn't say it until they were in the restaurant through the doorway. That's too late. That's just as bad as not saying thank you at all. That's too late. Did you need to make sure that you got to where you were going safely? We're not pilots, is all we're saying, or the joint drivers of a Greyhound bus. We're holding the door open for you. Welcome to Mike in the Morning. Hey, do you like this show? Huh? Do you like the show enough to wear a t-shirt about it? If the answer is yes, you go to dftba.com, and that's where they got it. All right? Speaking of going out to eat, did that again the other day. Doing pretty good. Nothing to worry about, Dad. If you're watching, I'm doing just good enough to go out to eat at least 2 times. Your little boy made it. I was having breakfast with a couple of friends of mine, and I have this thing. My dad has it too, where I can't not listen to other tables' conversation. And the table behind us had sat down, and they didn't really say anything to each other for a long time. I don't know if there was a fight or if they've just known each other long enough to be done with each other. But there were like 3 or 4 people sitting behind us and just a long silence. And then the first thing that was said to break that silence was try to feed a squirrel by hand the other day. And the conversation didn't even really pick up after that. He just went, no one responded. And he was like, had a potato chip. Try to get him to take it. In my mind, that would have sparked more conversation. You know, I forgot to tell you, glad we're in good company, because I actually talking about maybe the rest of the people at his table are discussing their goals or how tough of a week they had. That's the funniest possible scenario. If they were all like, work kicked my ass this week. I'm a dog walker, and work is really beating me down, or I'm an accountant and I don't know how I'm going to deal with my boss, and yada, yada, yada. Then it gets all the way around to Greg, and there's a long silence, and then Greg is like, I attempted to feed a rodent with a bag of Ruffles. I knew I wasn't going to finish it, so I handed a Ruffle to a vermin the other day. Coming out of a self-serve frozen yogurt place the other night with my wife, we ran into a fighting couple at like 10:30, 11 at night. Zoya, what time was it when the couple was fighting? 11 o'clock at night, Zoya says. I don't know why I hadn't thought about this until right now, but where do you look? You know, when you see, maybe you see, we were lucky enough to see the couple from far away, and we saw this. So we knew that they were fighting, but sometimes it sneaks up on you, and sometimes it's just they're here. My wrist cracked during that. That's too much effort to put into a tiny seated act out. And where do you when couples just start fighting next to you, where are you supposed to be at? You know, because you can't look right at them. Couple extra cracks there. Like I don't want any part of strangers' problems at all. I don't want any part of my problems. Sometimes when I'm fighting in public, I look around to see if I could transfer it to somebody else. Use the comment section below, and please let me know where to look. Do you look right at them? And do you say, give them judgment eyes? You're in public. You know? Do you purposely look away? Like when you're in an elevator and no one's texted you for a while and you can't possibly be doing anything on your phone, but you immediately pull out your phone because you can't stand to be within arm's length of a stranger for 30 seconds. We live in a very interesting time. Where do you look? Tour de France wrapped up this week. Congratulations to whoever won. Whoever won that. Probably somebody with not an American name. I used to work at the Versus Network. They would cover a lot of hockey. Used to be OLN, Outdoor Life Network. They used to do like hunting and hockey. That's pretty the man ones. And then every summer we would have to work on Tour de France, and I produced a lot of things for them, and that was really fun. And it was a lot my it was my first foray into television. I got to be a PA, and the summer sucked because you got to wake up super duper early in the morning on the East Coast of the United States to catch any of the Tour de France. And they happen in different stages. It happens throughout the month of July, and they happen in different stages. There were 21 stages, and some are mountain stages, and some are sprinting stages, and some they go 15 miles an hour for 3 hours. You gotta pretend that is the most interesting thing that you've seen that day. And sometimes it's really cool. But I am over it. I was over it after being forced to watch and wake up early as a man in his 20s for a long time. And I didn't want to do any of that. I just wanted to sleep. Next thing you know, I'm watching men, most of which cheat at what they do, ride a bike up a hill. And a lot of the time, I would ride my bike to work. So I'd be like, I just did this. It's just amazing that it's been going on for so long and it's still on TV. And I don't know who watches it, but the people who do really enjoy it. I'm not in anymore. No one's watched somebody else ride a bike through 21 stages since Paperboy from the Nintendo Entertainment System. And even then, it was boring as shit. What? Paperboy was awesome in 1992 when there was nothing else to do. But like today, like you have Grand Theft Auto now. Why do you need Paperboy? What? Then you go play Paperboy, Zoya. Where are they supposed to look now that we're fighting? I think I found my happy place in Los Angeles, and I think that's the car wash. I think that the hand car wash down the street from my house is a happy place. It's the happiest place. Car washes here are different than I remember them on the East Coast. A lot of the time on the East Coast, you would drive through a thing slow, and you would have no interaction with a human being. Then you would come out the other side, and your car would be about halfway as clean as you'd like it to be when you were going in there. But here, you drive up to a place, and they greet you, and they're all they're all like, I don't know what nationality they are, but they're not English speaking, and they're all that, whatever nationality that is. So you get out, and you have like kind of like a fumbly conversation with somebody who doesn't really want to talk to you. They're like, give me your keys, and we'll wash your car, and then we'll wait for you to probably not tip, and then we'll get your ass out of here. And it's the same interaction. And then you just sit there and you chill out and maybe eat a snack, and then you watch somebody else wash your car. Car washes are a great place to hang out if you want your car cleaned and you also want to feel like a piece of shit early in the morning. If you had yourself a good night's sleep and you had yourself a productive day yesterday and you're like, why don't I feel like a piece of shit? You go to the car wash, and then you watch a man who's like 90, anywhere between 90 and 177 years old, wash your car with his hands, with his bare hands. And I got duped. I got duped into paying like $50. My car was disgusting because we went to Palm Springs and it rained. So my car had dirt spots all over it. And I waited too long. I didn't want the dirt to fuck the paint up. So I waited too long. And then I brought it today and I was like, I'll get one of the special packages because they have packages. And I was like, I'll have the number 2, which is like $24. And then the guy walks up to me. He's like, we have a great deal on hand wash. Hand washing is very good. It's very gentle. And I was like, ooh, I think my inanimate object would appreciate a gentle wash. So I paid for that. And I looked down at the thing and it was like $49.99. And I was like, how is that? I think I was giving myself a deal, but I hadn't gotten my car washed in a long time, so I justified it. And then Zoya pulls up, and Zoya is going to get her car washed as well. She pays $14 like a smart person. And then they're flagging me down because they're done washing my car and really getting in there with the nooks and crannies, really being as gentle as you can be to an automobile. And I told Zoya, I'm like, I'm not gonna tip these guys. Just so you know, I want to let you know that I'm not gonna tip these guys because this cost me almost $50 and I don't have anything left. And then when you go get your car, they need the receipt, and then you give them the receipt. They give you the keys, and then you leave. So I handed them my receipt, and there were 2 $5 bills, like a sandwiching the receipt. So there were 2 old men finishing up my car and drying my car and armor-alling the inside. And I pulled up, and I gave them the receipt, but there were $10 attached to it, and then I just split it up. I was like, I'll give you $5 and you $5. So I tipped them both, but I didn't want to. But also I feel like if you're 177 years old and you're washing cars by hand in the heat, 95-degree heat, that you have to. I don't care if that was my last $10. I can't, as a well-adjusted 33-year-old grown-up, watch a 177-year-old man hand wash my car, even if I got duped. I probably got duped twice. He's probably a 26-year-old in a mask. Now I want to go back and pull on his wrinkles like I'm his grandson.
We're sorry. Your call cannot be completed as dialed. Please check the number and dial again. This is a recording.
I saw a very specific brand of dude at the car wash. This is a very specific brand of dude. There is a guy. Everyone knows a guy like this. Daily outfit. There's one who lives in our building, and there was one sitting next to me at the car wash. Flip-flops or sandals. Mostly flip-flops that make a sound. Basketball shorts. Not matching too big t-shirt from a long time ago. And then always on the phone. Always looking down. Always kind of hunched. They're shaped. They're this shape. Right? Like half of the McDonald's arches. And they're always shuffling. They're always on the phone, preferably speakerphone or Bluetooth. People who still have the one Bluetooth with the microphone that comes halfway between your cheek and nose. And they walk like this. And they pick their feet up the bare minimum amount. They pick their feet up as much as Bruce Willis opens his mouth to talk. You ever see Bruce Willis open his mouth to talk? We were watching the roast last night of Bruce Willis on Comedy Central, not a sponsor. And he always looks like he's enjoying the best nectarine he's ever had in his life. He's Bruce Willis. That's a terrible impression. But he's always, think about that. Think about Bruce Willis every time he's ever opened his mouth in a good mood Bruce Willis, like he just bit into the best nectarine he's ever had. That's it. That's the brand of dude I saw. And they're always mad at somebody on the phone too. Chill out. You're in basketball shorts, for Christ's sake. Enjoy the breeze. All right, thank you so much for watching Mike in the Morning. So many great shows, stand-up shows to come see in August. Couple of note, on the 13th, I'll be at the Laugh Factory. I can get you on the guest list for free. Somehow inbox me on something. And then on the 18th is the next Friends and Friends crowd work show. And that's going to be real fun. That's when me and my friends do crowd work for the entire night. That's a Saturday. A new Welcome to Our Podcast just came out. There are shirts. Do you want to say anything? And that's kind of what they have to offer. We're going to get rid of this shadow for next time. We find shadow. I find the light. Another side of something to hold on to. We find shadow. That's a song from Darren and Cunning. That's it. Thank you so much for joining us. Zoe, you got anything else? Zoe says goodbye.